Oh yeah, you're probably gonna have a big headache for this one, Danny. 100%.
Cannot full of Tylenol. Thank you, Lord.
I am inevitable.
Blind faith, I see the game in braille. Hell's Kitchen got the devil in the details. Red suit, but my sins stay pale. Shadow boxing with my past, never ring that bell. Echoes of crime and the echoes of footsteps. Preaching the streets while I'm dodging the death threats. Halo got horns when the system neglects. Law on my veins, but the pain my pretext. Flip like a coin, heads turn when I'm flipping them. Dancing on the edge, got the reaper in my peripheral. Gospel of the fists, every hit like a parable. Scripture in my stars, every cut unforgettable. Walk with the Lord, but I talk with the sinners. Breaking my bread with the wolves and the winners. Blind to the fear, but I see through pretenders. There with the devil, I dine with Avengers. I've been ready to feast, Hell's Kitchen at the table. Fork in the road, but I'm steady staying faithful. Sins on my plate, but the chef keep it tasteful. Born again, but the city stay fatal.
Hey,
Not bad.
go ahead with the hate, Nzo. Go ahead with the hate.
Wait, with the Lord, but I walk with the sinners.
I knew it was coming. Come on, Nzo, go ahead.
I was going to say that thanks to JG, we got some fire lyrics for the intro, and I had to make sure that I put it at the end so that people knew who did it.
My bad. You've been hating on me for a whole like
wow.
You talk with the Lord and you walk with the sinners. I love that, dude.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Good job, Bubba. Good job.
So that's really good.
Surprise there.
I can't rap for anything, but wait, penmanship? Oh yeah, I got you.
Yeah, dude, that's what I said. Flow, man. It flowed.
I carry the Tylenol and I walk with the migraine.
I one there. I heard that voice. Last hit. Get some BC. I'll be right back.
Wow. All I heard was Gizmo Kaka. That's all I heard before. Danny, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
You can find me on my channel Mondays and Fridays at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I uploaded one today, so if you haven't watched it, please check it out. Friday, I have another one. Tomorrow, me and I will be doing another episode 8 of the Roundtable for Daredevil. Please come check it out, man. We have a good time critiquing that. And Wednesdays, you can catch me on Nzo Show sometime, the OOC. And also on the Hangout, and then you can catch me Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Storms Live.
Absolutely, and we definitely gonna have some fun critiquing this episode. That's for damn sure. Eli, where can they find you, sir?
They can find me on X, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, various YouTube channels. Like on Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern, was starting on Bio Mike's channel. Talking about politics, see? FNN, Fake News Network.
I love
you're trying to get canceled.
Hey, look. This is a great shirt, man. Look at this. Fake News Network, man. FNN. It doesn't stand for Freedom News Network.
Brian, where can they find you, sir?
Hey, I'm on the Spoiler Kings. We're live Mondays and Thursdays, and then now on Saturdays too. And then you're gonna see me Tuesday. We're doing this front breakdown with Nzo on Big Ford Entertainment, man. Come on.
Absolutely. Warren, where can they find you?
Here.
That's it. That's Warren. Okay, JG.
You know what to do, brother.
JG Shaolin Terrific, the undisputed final boss of the 36 Chambers of Shaolin. What? Yeah. Thank y'all for tuning in live for this Daredevil watch party on a Monday. I'm happy for it. But catch me live Wednesday nights on the OOC with the host Nzo, aka the Abbott, and the Osiris of the Sheet Spliff King and the Professor of Gunja. alongside his co-host Roberto, aka Mr. 100, aka No Trouble Did Anything Going By. No woman, no cry. Boop, boop, boop. And of course, catch me Tuesday nights, primetime Tuesday nights. Let me say it again, primetime Tuesday nights with my brother Superwise. Mi hermano de otra madre, el principio de Nueva York. We do our Daredevil live watch parties. And I can't forget this man over here. Man, this man is an inspiration. Always giving us the good word. The faithful one himself. Dr. says, oh, what the hell?
The purple chair. Wow.
Let's go.
The purple chair. Yeah. Look at that. The chair's for such an inspiration, man. Clint Eastwood even had him up on stage. Remember?
That's how much respect Danny got for your intro that he even left the chair. He said, "Screw that! I don't even want to hear JG's intro."
In the middle of his introduction.
Wow! The props I was gonna give you, Danny, man.
JG, when nature calls, I don't care about nobody introduction.
But like I was saying,
I love you, bro, but nature was calling. I had to go.
But like I was saying, the man is always delivering that good message, the faithful one himself. One of the finest police officers to ever grace these great United States. That's right on. So these great United States. Dr. Stacey Ellis Casey suffers from that realness. Simplify himself. The man will turn any pauper to a prince with his fashion sense. If you smell what Danny's cooking.
You know what this means, Nzo, right?
No, I don't actually. The American thing.
Hey, JG, by the way, your 26-second intro.
I got one more guy. Hold on.
There we go.
Hold on. The man right there on screen. The man who should be Yasuke in a biopic.
That will be good.
He would be perfect. The man who should be cast as Luke Cage. Look at the size of that man. And Chicago's finest, the urban dweller himself. Man, the long hair don't care. 1/3 of the Spoiler Kings, the Titans of YouTube. Brian Grizzly.
Oh, let's go.
You need to add the cerebral assassin in there too.
I couldn't think that quick.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
What you saying, Eli? You were going to say something about the intro?
Oh, yeah. As soon as you started your 26-second intro for Danny, I had a 26-second commercial.
Oh.
I was watching on my TV listening. I'm like, oh, my God, perfect timing. You started and stopped right during the commercial.
I don't know why. Nobody does that except Nzo's. I don't know why.
I know, and every time you guys tell me, I remember, and I gotta go back. I gotta go to my live, and I gotta adjust the commercials.
I'm
so
not
they're
paying for that
coming up like
YouTube
crazy.
Premium.
Yeah. I don't have that blocker on my TV, so I can't block the commercials.
Yeah, I don't want to pay for that.
StreamYard, I'm telling you, if they go up one more time, boy, I don't know. I might be.
Boy, me too, Danny. Me too.
Hey, so I gotta show you how to do the shorts. Okay, I have to show you how to do the shorts. They're not gonna offer anymore, but you could go back to your old videos, and then you can go back in to look at the video. It'll do AI shorts for your video automatically. I can show you how to do it later, but yeah, it's awesome. That's the best part about StreamYard. But yeah, these prices getting outrageous.
Let's see, man. I thought it would be like $30. I look at my bill, I think like $46.99. I was like, oof.
What? Good gracious.
Wait, hold on. 46, Danny?
I think it's 46.
Try 65.
Oh no.
Oh my God. $80.
1 cent.
Yeah, those tariffs kicking in.
Yeah. And it pisses me off because every time I go check my account, I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Oh, freaking StreamYard, man.
And they know they're the best streaming service out there.
Yes.
Exactly. What can you get away from? Every time you try something different, it does not work the same. You have problems, and they know it.
I felt bad, man, because Nzo did a lot of work for that OBS. So, man, he was telling me, man, Danny, you got to click this and you got to link this, and I was like,
OBS is complicated to use.
This ain't happening every day.
Oh no, 100%. It is complicated to use. 100%. Like sometimes it's just like, oh my gosh, But
it takes too much memory. That's what it takes too much of your internet speed too. Like,
StreamYard, right now you the king, but you better not let a queen come up here, or you gonna
we'll be chips.
You be left.
Facts. every time I see that they take that money, I'm like, boy, I'm jumping ship next month. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, like, bro, that's crazy. But anyways, guys, we're not here to talk about StreamYard. We are here to talk about episode 7, Daredevil, Born Again. And we are going to go through our initial thoughts of this episode. Danny, you go first.
I love this episode, and the reason why, because I don't like it when the bad guy wins. I don't. I just don't. I never like that. I like it when he gets.
You didn't like
I like
in war, or
I like when he gets over on it, but at the end of it, I like it when the good guy
or wins. Empire.
I always want that, because I was thinking about Superman and Lois. Lex Luthor actually won, and I don't like that. But I just like to see the good guy win. I know he gonna go through his trials and tribulations, and he gonna be on the bottom sometime. But when the end and the dust is settled, I want the good guy to win. I didn't have an issue with some of the things that we're gonna get into.
Hey, Tamika.
I thought the fight scene in the office was fantastic. I got some little nitpicks on some of the stuff, but this episode kept me engaged, and I'm ready to see the next episode tomorrow.
Very interesting. All right. I'm on the opposite with you, Danny. I've seen way too many movies where the good guy wins. So give me some bad guys winning. I love
Empire Strikes Back. Classic. Come on.
Strikes Back.
Best.
Avengers Doomsday.
I said classic, dude.
Yeah, hopefully, hopefully the bad guy wins in Doomsday as well. I'll be down for that one. Eli, overall thoughts for this episode?
This episode brought me back to Daredevil Netflix season 2. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in love. I love this episode. The pacing, the cinematography, the choice in music. I loved every single moment of this episode.
JG, thoughts on this episode?
I am scared. Me and Elihu are agreeing.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say this, and I said it on after the watch party and everything. On its own, it was a solid episode. But after seeing episode 6 is kind of bad.
Exactly.
I tell you what.
Exactly.
I try to support. I know. I'm trying to support the fellas. I try to watch the stream. I stayed up extra to watch JG and whatever his friend was.
Super wise.
Boy, if I could have used the Infinity Gauntlet, I would snap him out of existence.
Super wise. Oh man, that's funny. All right, Brian. Overall thoughts for this episode?
I feel the same exact way. This was a good episode overall. If it's by itself. By itself, this is great. The problem is we just introduced Daredevil. I'm going to say the same thing that I've said every single episode of this. You can't give me all that action and then take it away the next episode, knowing you've been without action in all those episodes before. You can't tell me. You can't keep continuing to tell me it's going to be a lot more. You know, so like it in sequence, I don't like it. As an episode on its own, it was actually entertaining. It was an entertaining action episode. So
Tamika said she liked this episode. Basil said overall in one word, underwhelming.
That's it.
Yep.
Warren?
Wow.
Stay in Canada.
Play in Canada.
This episode was okay. I was kind of Daniel. I mean, the problem I have is that it wasn't Daredevil that beat Muse; it was Heather. So that's my biggest problem right there. So technically, Danny, the good guy didn't win. It was the woman that won.
Hey, you just went live, Nzo.
But yeah, well, I mean, overall, I think it's a good episode. But the fight that was a little bit underwhelming. I'll go in the nitpicks later, but it was a little underwhelming. I think that, and we know he's not. Well, you know. Anyway, yeah.
Oh wait, hold on, because I know where you're going with this.
That.
Yes, because from what I heard, he's dead. So definitely, but
Well,
you should have been happy.
I'm going to get into that part. Okay.
We'll get into it. Definitely get into it.
Yeah, I'm going to get into that.
So yeah, I know you guys are saying the episode was solid, but for me, this was trash. This was the worst episode of the series. I hate to say it because I thought, I thought that the series, the writing was great and everything, but they just did so much stuff in this episode that I just thought was absolute garbage. I wasn't feeling it at all. So my overall thoughts
I need
was
that, Brian.
You need this.
this,
You need, right?
this episode was trash, 100%.
It was trash because
careful,
the bad
Brian.
guy
It hurt the
got
Hulk.
killed.
I'll still be okay.
What was that, Danny?
The only reason you said trash because the bad guy got killed.
And I'll tell you why.
That's a big deal for Muse to be killed. That's a big deal.
Bro, y'all shouldn't be surprised. How many times did the MCU kill off these fire villains?
Okay, I'm gonna say it right now. In the comic, I was complaining. It's like, okay, they must have nerfed Muse because they're not talking about Inhumans. What is going on here? Then they had killed him off. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. They did this in the comic books, and he came back, and they're supposed to introduce Mephisto and Ironheart. So maybe there's a little link in this. I'm like, hey, maybe this for a reason.
Maybe
he'll come back as more powerful with the powers.
Maybe from what I heard is that so the Muse stuff was from the original writers, and they're moving on from that. So from moving on from that, that's why they killed Muse. So there was a report that he was going to be in season 2, but it's not 100% confirmed that he's going to be in season 2. And then if you go with the way the show and the series is going, you can see that these last 2 episodes are going to be about his cop squad. I said that when we watched the episode. I said, okay, so the last 2 episodes are going to be about the cops, right? And hunting down Daredevil and all of that. Now, if he comes back in season 2, okay, I get it. But right now, what I'm hearing is that he's gone. Like, that's it. That's
Can I ask you guys a question, though?
Yeah, go ahead.
How would you guys feel if they did something like that wasn't the real Muse?
You mean a Mysterio?
Like a Mandarin or anything like that. That's not the real Muse, and they bring Muse back, but on their own terms, the way they want to do it.
You see that
trash?
Yeah, go.
I wouldn't be.
I'll let Danny go first, and then more.
I wouldn't be mad at that, but because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, we want this particular series to stay grounded, right? Street level.
Mm-hmm.
So they start doing that kind of magical supernatural stuff, it's going to take it to a different level. So if they want to do that, you got to make sure the story is coherent and it sticks and it makes sense. I don't know if you want to add supernatural stuff in the Daredevil. I know there are probably comic books where he does that and he encounters it, but not on the level. Him and Spider-Man, they mainly kind of street level. So if they want to keep that particular, I guess, essence, then they can't have the supernatural stuff, in my opinion, because that's going to make things a little bit confusing. I believe.
Not to be a dork here, but I mean,
Too late.
I don't think Rhino and Scorpion and Venom are street level for Spider-Man. So I'm gonna have to push a little bit back.
They're not supernatural. They're superhuman. There's a difference between superhuman and supernatural.
But they're not street level.
Yeah, they are. It's considered street level violence, street level crime.
Come on, Eli. You're telling me Venom is street level? Come on, bro. You tell me Night Thrasher can fight Venom? Come on, man.
I don't know if you could count Venom as supernatural.
Okay, Ryan.
He might be 50-50. He might be 50-50.
But it's just like Batman. Batman doesn't really dabble into the supernatural. Most of his villains they're like humans with sick personalities, that kind of stuff. Spider-Man got a little like augmented because he's augmented, but you can't. I don't say you can, but I think
Sandman, really?
But that's not supernatural though. That's
no.
That's the same kind. It's a scientific mistake, like Spider-Man is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's not like what I'm saying is I agree with what you're saying. However, Spider-Man fights meta-humans and Daredevil.
Maybe street level is the wrong terminology, but
this wouldn't be meta-human.
This cosmic. Yeah. It's not like the Avengers.
Fair. I can agree with that. Mm-hmm. I can agree with that.
So what were your thoughts on what Brian asked, Warren? Because I think I agree with you.
Brian, can you ask again? Because it
Yeah,
dropped out of my
I wanted to weigh in. I wanted to weigh in after Warren.
Sorry, Brian.
he
Repeat it.
he asked if they brought Muse back, but it was
This
like
was a different
yeah.
Muse. Like we
Oh,
found out this is the wrong. It's a Mandarin type of thing. This is not the Mandarin. The real Mandarin is this. You know,
Yeah.
like if you'll bring
oh,
someone else in to
Are you thinking maybe
continue
a
the Muse
variant?
story.
Okay.
Just like this is the wrong. This is a guy who's like trying to play like
copycat?
he's the Muse, a copycat of it. And the real Muse is this real epic hero. I mean, villain, because he's supposed to be one of the best villains in Daredevil's world. So what if you use it and bring him back and say this is the real one, or even
Be
like
horrible.
how the Joker is?
That'd be cool.
Absolutely horrible, because you've been building up this Daredevil to have like an opponent that like really test them, and you get a Mysterio where this guy's like pretending to have like abilities, and he's just some regular serial killer. I'd be hell. I'd rather you have Bullseye this entire season and have
But that
Daredevil.
guy, he's not pretending. He's just pretending to be a serial killer. He's not pretending to have any kind of extra powers or anything, because he said in his dialogue that he hates karate. He hates martial arts. And that's why he's getting his butt kicked left to right by Daredevil, because he didn't take it seriously.
Right, but I'm just answering his question, where like if you're gonna give me a villain, then I might as well have had like Bullseye the entire season, and him like being a worthy adversary, than have some like what, I forgot that guy that played Mandarin, that whatever that Indian guy. That'd be waste of time. You might as well have just given us all 16 episodes then.
So and I'll say this, I do agree with Warren to a degree, right? I'm like, listen, you tried that with the Mandarin, right? You tried that with him. You're doing that again. And that's the reason why, like, when people are like, oh, Muse is still alive and he's coming back for season 2. Well, now you faked out Foggy's death, and now you faked out Muse's death, and you're going to bring them both back. Like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? We already did that with the Mandarin stuff, and it didn't work. 100% didn't work, right? To where they had to go and say it was a fake Mandarin. And now they're going to do it again with the fake Muse.
I'm going to push.
Yeah, I wanted to say something.
Yeah, let Danny go first, and then Eli. Go ahead.
Go.
Okay, go ahead, Eli.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, that's actually a pretty interesting idea, Brian, because if they're going to go that route, you got to look back to the comics, because they're blending up the comics. Muse isn't an idiot. He's a genius, okay? He's a genius. He could be in that room with the professor, watching her as well in that room. He could have been one of the people in that crowd that nobody's even mentioned anything like this, because they specifically focused on Sebastian, him. But you had a clear view of a crowd, not a fuzzy off-center crowd. When they show the crowd, it's a clear view of everybody's faces, not a fuzzy shot like they normally do. So maybe Muse could have actually been there, and the guy was like a protege, and Muse is kind of playing him along. And all of a sudden, hang on. All of a sudden, season 2, we're going to find a tag of Muse's face high up in the air, and someone will say, "Oh, it's a copycat," and then they find out it's made with blood after Muse's was shot. And it's like, oh wait, what is going on here? So yeah, Muse played him art for art.
Okay.
Exactly.
And
that would be exactly it. And he only used this other one. Remember, he said he had mental problems, right? So he went to the doctor because he was having these mental problems. Muse already got to him and was like trying to feed him this stuff and tell him, you need to go do this with my mask on.
Yeah.
To try to draw out Daredevil. Because he's such a high level villain, he already knows who Daredevil is. That he's Matt Murdock, and he's trying to draw him out by using.
Because he's been watching the doctor, and he knows who's the doctor. Who the doctor's like, wait, who's this blind guy who's very agile when he walks away? Yeah, I'm like, hello.
And I always gonna say in episode 9, like the last thing you'll see is that you pan to like another painting on the building, and that's all you need, because you'll then get Muse in season 2. But you find out that was never Muse. You guys know.
So the way you put it, if they do something like that, that would be interesting. You were gonna say something though, Danny?
Yeah, 2 things. The comparison that you use with God, I'm doing a Roberto tonight. Yeah, you're saying
the Mandarin.
The Mandarin. That was comic relief, and I don't think they're gonna do that. And I think that it could work, and I like Brian's idea a lot. I think that Kingpin's right hand man is Muse. I've always said that since day one.
Ding, 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 ding. I think you're right, Danny.
So I think that he's possibly doing what Brian said. He's using this guy like the sacrificial lamb and doing out there. But I think you're gonna find out behind the puppet pulling the strings, that guy's really Muse. And I don't think Kingpin even know it. But Kingpin kind of alluded to something like, "I hired you for a specific skill set or something like." He said something along those lines. I can't remember exactly what he said. Yep. He made that comment. So that made me think that guy is Muse, and then he didn't seem at all hesitant about killing an old boy that came in there at the restaurant. He did it like matter of factly, like
he had dead aim.
So I'm thinking that maybe that guy might be Muse, and if Brian's theory holds water, he could be.
He got the scent off of him. Also killing another Muse. Like, hey, I set this crazy guy up to be Muse because he was also there at the signing, the book signing.
I just want to say one thing. Well, you go ahead, Chris, first.
Yeah,
I was just going to say, the one thing that makes that different from the Mandarin switch is that also you're not waiting 10 films to see that character again. If they play it and they get it done, like end of that, like you said, the end of this season or this grouping of episodes comes out, and they hint it or they show it, then you're fine. It's the fact that, one, the way they did the Mandarin, and then two, it was the fact that the payoff for it didn't come till years later, and it just doesn't work like that.
So before you go, Warren, I'll just say this one thing real quick. The way Brian puts it, if it's something like that, it works. But if it's just this guy running around pretending to be Muse and there's no connection, then no, I'm like, nah, I'm not feeling that. But if you're saying there's some kind of connection where the guy kind of tricked him to being Muse or something like that, that makes more sense. But again, like I said, if it's just some guy running around, hey, I'm Muse, blah, 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 pretending to be Muse, then it's like you're doing this bait and switch stuff, and you already did that, so I don't like it. Warren, your thought? What were you going to say?
Oh, it's the only thing a little pushback on Danny. The thing about the Mandarin is everybody who likes Iron Man was expecting to see an epic fight between the Mandarin and Iron Man. So to get that, I was upset when I was genuinely upset in the theater, by the way, when it wasn't comic relief for me, and I've seen that on other threads. I'm not saying everybody, but for me, and then to get that now in Ironheart later on, where we get like this guy that gets all his powers in a cape and he's fighting a technological person, is a disappointment in a show. So that to me would be a slap in the face. I get what you're saying, and I agree that it was comic relief for that movie, but to know the history of the Mandarin and to get that was just like a slap in the face for Iron Man fans.
Let me make one quick point on that. I see what you're saying. I don't disagree. But if you look back at it now, if they would have done the Mandarin, that would have took some of the wins out of Thanos' sail, because Mandarin powers are very similar to Thanos, because those 10 rings he got has all those different things, the elements. So if they would have done that, that kind of would have took the sail and the steam out of Thanos. So they probably just did that to kind of like wink, wink, the Mandarin kind of. And like I said, it was a disappointment. But if you go back and think about it logically, if they would have done the Mandarin right, his 10 rings are very similar to the power set that Thanos has with the Infinity Gauntlet. So that kind of would have took some of the energy out of Thanos.
I hear what you're saying, but I think they would have dumbed it down to where it didn't, right? Like it can always depower those rings to where it does, or do the same thing like they did in Shang-Chi, change them a little bit. You know what I mean? Because those rings were actually supposed to be the Mandarin rings, so they could do something like that to change it around to where it doesn't take away from Thanos. But to me, honestly, like that part in that movie, it ruined the whole movie. I think the movie was fine up until that part, and then it just went downhill from there. But JG, what are your thoughts on what Brian said?
We talk about the Mandarin, or are we talking about Muse?
Muse.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Muse.
Okay. I'll agree with the Mandarin thing, the whole joke, especially you got the actor playing the Mandarin. I was expecting something better. And what we got it just deflated the whole thing for me. I just didn't care after that point. But as far as Muse, I mean, yeah, Muse is supposed to be a problem. supposed to be a problem. Now I kept saying that the goon in episode 5 that Matt was fighting gave him more issues than Muse did in 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're gonna do that kind of, I don't know if you want to call it bait switch, but have, let's say, Kingpin's protege as the real Muse. Okay, cool, but please let him be a problem for Daredevil.
Yeah, he's gonna be a problem. You can see.
That's why I believe
he needs to be a problem.
I believe Brian's
Well,
on that. That's one thing that makes sense now.
Well, I will say this: the fight in the office was a lot easier for Daredevil. Yeah, the first one was really a lot more violent. So I mean, I kind of thought that too. I'm like, he's supposed to be this, Taekwondo guy and all that stuff. And again, when the police connected, when Fisk's office people connected, like too many connections happened too quick in this episode. I would see it as that's a bit too easy. So, I mean, I could see it happening.
I got you. What are your overall thoughts for this episode, Chris?
I loved it. It was done really well. We're getting to the root now where they're both kind of back to being who they are, and the thing at the end where Vanessa tried to kill him, she didn't try to do it, but she certainly allowed it to try to happen. And like you said, the cold way that they did the ending there, I liked it. There's a lot of good things going on with this episode.
All right, save them for your positives because we're getting into the positives now. And I will start first with my positives, the fight scene. That's about it. Danny, what are your positives for this episode?
I definitely like I said, the fight scene. I like that the conversation between when Muse was revealing himself to his girlfriend, and she was starting to pick it and putting 2 and 2 together, and she's still trying to be cool about it, but he knew that she knew, and that kind of stuff. The thing with Vanessa, at the end, you don't know whether or not Vanessa was actually texting him to set old boy up for the Kingpin to kill him, or whether or not she was actually trying to betray him. I still haven't figured that out yet. So the way they're playing Vanessa with this kind of double ganger powder personality role, you don't know whether she's actually for herself, she's trying to help. The way they're playing that back and forth, I really like that. So trying to think what else. But definitely that. I at first I wasn't a fan of Vanessa, but she's starting to intrigue me a little bit more with her greed, I guess, her ambition. Is she actually still loyal to Kingpin or not? I hate seeing things with dirty cops, man. Kingpin pretty much told that sucker what to say. Yeah, we did it. Yeah, we no fool, you didn't do nothing. You know you didn't do nothing. But anyway, I guess that ain't a positive lesson. But I like the way the story is going with those cops coming to a head. How is he going to use them to try and hunt Daredevil down? And I really like the fact, I saw it on the intro, that the reason he's really pissed off at Daredevil because Daredevil was a better man than him and whipped his butt. That is what's really sticking in his craw. Not so much what Daredevil is doing and how he was explaining to who we think is a real Muse in his office, like, yeah, he's out here doing this, just self-righteous, this. And the way he was kind of like, I like that whole scene. So D'Onofrio, I think that's his name. Yeah, he's killing as Kingpin. So a lot of things I like on that. The dialogue I really liked.
Gotcha. JG.
Positives?
Yes, sir.
Gracious. I'll say
that's what I'm saying. Like I'm right there. Like the positive is like, ugh.
I guess Kingpin. He's
What's
not
he doing on the top row? I mean, if he's on the top row,
be quiet for 1 second as I talk. You can't stop talking for 1 second while somebody else. Shut up.
So
anyway,
first
I can talk over you all I want.
JG. Go ahead, JG. Tell them what your
You know, Chris, that's a very interesting computer you're on right now. Is that a computer or your phone?
I'm actually not at home, so it's my phone. But no, the computer's actually up and running and it has sound again. So I'm pretty damn fucking stoked.
Good for you. All right, hold on. We're gonna let JG go. Go ahead, JG.
Thank you.
And hold on, one more thing, JG. One more thing. The reason why you were on the top row is because your ass kept popping in and out, and I was.
I know why. I was just fucking with you. Okay. I was just screwing with you. I know.
I'm just saying. All right, go ahead, JG.
So positives. No Daredevil coming back in the form. Kingpin. He's not there yet, but you see he's getting back there to form again.
He ain't there. He just beat the man half to death with a doggone axe.
Yeah, but I still feel like he's kind of conflicted. You know what I mean?
He's still conflicted, man. He's still getting the weight back. He ain't there yet, but he's on the cusp.
I don't want that kind of butt cutting if you conflict.
He just had to bust a load on that scene, man. He just had to climb it.
Pause.
He was good.
What? Pause. Where's the pause, JG?
Ain't no pause tonight, damn it. What was I gonna say? The scene when Muse, before he puts on the mask, the conversation that he and what's her name? Heather
Heather
had. The
most unlucky therapist ever.
I swear. Mm-hmm. The fight scene, well, I'll get into that. Let's see. Kingpin, well, I guess Fisk.
He's on fire tonight. Go ahead, JG.
I was just saying, Fisk still had the know-how because remember, he's all against this vigilante justice, right? And the know-how to say, okay, you did it. Not Daredevil, you did it. Because everybody knows that Daredevil did it. His whole vigilante thing kind of starts going out the window for me. So yeah, you have to do that. I know Daddy doesn't like it, but
really,
I'm just saying you got to do it. You got to do it. Other than that, and that's about it.
All right, Eli, positives. Now we're gonna hear some butt kicksing to this whole show. So let's go, Eli. You're positives.
Sorry, I'm eating. Can you go over to Brian real fast?
All right, I'll skip you, Chris. Because I'm trying. I want to get the butt lickers out the way real quick, right?
Wow.
I forgot. Oh wait, I forgot. Chris is on the front row now. Sorry. Oops.
Yeah, Chris, go ahead.
So my whole thing got to be on the top row. Go ahead.
No. Yeah, positives.
Yeah, well, I'm Alex.
Definitely. Positives are definitely Kingpin getting back into form. More, just it's continuing to move forward. I'm not saying he's not quite Kingpin. He obviously is. But he's definitely knows. Well, no, what I mean is he's watching his back. He knows that his wife's after him. I know he knows it was her. At least that she had the ability to make the call. Yeah, go ahead and do it. She could have stopped it, and he knows that's up because he was ready for it. And I mean, and honestly, was that the same guy that he wanted the money from?
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it was. So here's the thing. I'm gonna give you a week or however long he gave him to get the money, and then he doesn't get the money, but his wife says go ahead and try to kill him. So either his wife is in on it with him and knew that his husband or told her husband that he was on his way, which could be a case too, because we'll have to see how it plays out. But right now, I think she's in on it. She was all for it, and she's gonna find out. And the way that he had his little guy call her and say, "Hey, ask if she would like me to bring home that." That was a cool little touch. Let's see here. I like the fact that now his investigator guy is kind of like, no, not going to do this anymore. And then now his partner's kind of figuring out what's going on here. So I'm wondering if we're going to let her in on the secret. I'll hold that for dislikes, but
investigator's a punk.
Who?
The investigator.
What?
I say Cherry's a punk.
Oh,
I can't stand that dude, bro.
But the fight scene in the office was okay. I mean, I was all right with it. It just seemed a little quick. So those are some of my positives.
All right, Eli, butt liquor number 3.
Butt liquor. Why does Fisk want to be mayor? Because the system took him down. Now he is the system and he knows how to manipulate it. This is brilliant. I love the arc of Fisk. Okay, you guys, yeah, he's the enemy. He's the bad guy. Who cares? He has a great arc now. I love the manipulation. He's going back to his roots.
Look how Fisk marrows Trump. Isn't that scary?
Yeah, I was going to say something like that. Yeah.
He's an allegory or he's an avatar allegory for Donald Trump. He really is.
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is not physically scary.
Except for I could see me voting for Fisk. I could. Because he's just not as crappy or stupid as the orange, whatever the fuck.
Cheeto.
Anyway.
Yeah. Fisk has loyalists. Okay. The restaurant, okay. The fight scene was, top notch. 100%. Off the hook. I loved it. I loved every single moment of it. I cannot.
You're thinking the same thing I was thinking, Danny.
Man, you start 3 sentences like, okay, yes. Oh, no, what in the world? Well, you better stop that. I'm telling you, man, that weed is going to kill every brain cell you got left. You better stop it.
Okay, hold on. You know what? I've let you get away with the weed stuff long enough, Danny, but we're not doing that, all right? Because I am a pothead as well, all right? And I don't act like Eli, so that's more than just weed.
What can I say? What
I don't know. So your reading's been kind of weird recently, so it might be getting to your head a little bit.
Wait a minute. Is JG starting already?
Yes, he is. JG, read on those subtitles.
I couldn't help it.
You guys are good.
I couldn't help it.
Out the window.
I take it back. I'm sorry. I take it back.
Hey, once it's put out there on YouTube, there's no taking it back, brother.
You can edit
it.
We can't do that. You can edit it out.
Go ahead, Eli. Finish up.
Okay.
I'm going to let you slide on this one.
There's only one bad thing I have to say about the fight scene. I'll come to my negatives on that.
Mm-hmm.
The other good thing I liked was the restaurant. I was kind of confused because, wait a minute, why is his back to the table? This is Fisk. Okay, it's got to be something, either a setup or he knows something. And I'm like, okay, it's got to be a setup. But when he said, make sure ask my wife if she wants this, I'm like, wait a minute, he's never threatened Vanessa. This has got to be, he knows that she's trying to kill him. So he gave his little subtle hints like, hey,
He said that after the guy killed him.
Yeah. He said, make sure, ask my wife I want this. Basically, that telling Vanessa, it's like, hey, I know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's his way of saying it. I know. I love that way, the way he delivered that line. That was just so great. I'm like,
but we don't know. That's what I said earlier. We don't know.
I know.
Text.
But this is what I'm speculating.
But you're right.
She texted Luca. She texted Luca. That's why.
Do we know that though? Right? Because like,
how else would Luca know?
Hold on. Like Danny said, and like Krista said, maybe she set up Luca to be like, oh, you know what? Yeah, you can go do it now, but called Kingpin and said Luca's coming now, right?
Because Kingpin gave him a time. You have until the end of the week to pay this. Guess what this is? The end of the week.
The end of the week.
Right.
And like I said, we don't know yet. That's obviously the way they meant it, and we're gonna find out.
Mm-hmm. And if was so, I mean, great, because you have to kill off Luca because he's already shown he'll go to the highest bidder. He'll turn on you in a second.
Yeah,
so you got to.
I don't think they're going to end up getting into an argument about that. He's basically say, "Hey, I know you tried. Good try. No more." And she's like, "Yeah, I understand. No more trying."
No,
and she's basically conceded that.
I think when Kingpin fully made the transformation, because he said in that one of those sessions, like trust, like don't make it so I can't trust you, whatever. So he
Right.
loves Vanessa, but if she start going too far to
Acting the fool.
reservation, he gonna check her.
And keep that thought because I'm gonna ask that question towards the end. I want to know what you guys think. Whether Vanessa was on Kingpin's side or she actually set up to kill him. So keep that thought in mind. Anything else, Eli?
That's it.
All right. Now we go to Brian, and I know he's gonna come with some logic. So let's go, Brian.
It's not gonna be a long one of the likes. I mean, honestly, I thought the fight was pretty. The fight on Matt Murdock on Daredevil's side was awesome for him to do what he did. The fight as a whole wasn't that great, so just say whatever. I love once again Fisk Kingpin is amazing. Vanessa's storyline has been amazing, but that's really where it ends because. When we go talk about the negative, I got like 7. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave the positives where it is right now. That's really it.
Facts. Warren, positives.
Oh, Lord, I want a gauntlet. Give me the gauntlet, please.
I don't need the gauntlet. I'm going to be...
I need it. So you can be dusted, buddy.
It's so funny because you snap, and then you don't realize that you got you don't want to get snapped away.
They won't need the gauntlet, but I you guys summed up, so I'm not gonna mention the other stuff. The fight was lackluster in my opinion, but that's as much as I'll say on that. You guys, I will say the points that I'm gonna mention is that one, the secretary or that guy that's working with him, you could see that
I'm about to hit. Don't. That's negative. Let's work
no,
with this.
No, it's a positive because he's actually seeing what Fisk is, and he's and I'm saying a positive as for the story development. Not saying it's positive for him because this is like some college kid, right? So there's that. There's also the dynamic with Heather and Matt, of course, that he's now conflicted. He has someone he has to protect, and she's all now like you could tell that there's going to be something going to happen to her. So that's good to see because she's annoying. So I want her.
That's part of my negatives. That's
yeah. Me too.
She's gonna die. So I'm happy about that. So
Warren, you're a negative. We don't want you to die.
Thanks, Danny. At least I know. At least other than
that,
that,
I was gonna say, speak for yourself, Danny.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't jump on that. I can't jump on that bus with you.
Yeah, no.
I didn't want anyone to. You know me.
I'm on Danny's side.
I'm just long life for you, Warren.
My last positive.
Short bus has just arrived.
Is that Fisk is Vanessa is a true puppet master so far. But that's the 3 points I had. That's it.
You think she's smarter than Fisk?
Nope, I don't think she's smart. I just think she's playing strings and she's using more brain than Braun. I mean, Fisk he uses brain too, but I haven't seen her take out a gun. She's just used words to get things done.
Not to mention, it seems like Fisk is blinded with love more than she is. You know what I mean? So that could be an issue too, as why
it's love and pride.
That too, absolutely, because his pride is what made him beat the crap out of that dude. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
That's just being an idiot. That's just silly. You took my girl, so I'm gonna put you in a cage. That's kind of silly, man. Come on, bro.
But you do realize that she's starting to dress like Kingpin. She's wearing white.
I didn't even look that deep, but that's a good thing, Eli. I didn't notice that.
When she was on the phone, she was wearing a black coat, all black.
Oh, was she?
When she was doing the text and stuff, she was wearing all black.
That's what happens when you don't exhale.
Yeah, but when she's meeting with people, she's wearing white.
Yeah, but it's a party dress.
Yeah, that's public appearance. She's wearing white. Yeah. But Kingpin wore white.
Exhale.
I was like, they both were.
All right, so let's get into the negatives. We're gonna go the other way around. I'll let Warren start off with the negatives. Warren, negatives.
Well, this was a shit fight scene. I'm sorry to say, it was absolute dog shit. Like this was like a. I always use this as like a 10th grader fighting a 5th grader. He kicked them. This was not. And the cops. You could tell that I guess this is my negative. You could tell that cop is gonna turn the light skinned cop. So he's like, because he was like, wait a minute, I'm doing this shady stuff, but Daredevil really did it, and he's like, okay, so you could tell that that's going. Heather, she's annoying. I'm sorry. I've never liked this woman. She's absolutely annoying. She's not needed. I don't. She's like she's just a little better than Leroy. That's it.
She is needed. That shower scene was needed. So,
Yeah.
That fogged up shower scene. The fogged up part was not needed.
And I guess another nitpick is we're on episode 7 and we still have no news about why Bullseye did what he did. Why
Bullseye's not part of the season. I know you waiting for Bullseye, but it's not part of the season.
No, but yeah, because I like Bullseye. But Brian, my thing is, you're telling me you can't do like little 1-minute things in a 30-minute episode to like little drops here and there. They haven't dropped anything. You're waiting until episode
like
9.
They're holding him though. They're holding him for next season for him for the breakout. So you want to he's there. We know he's there, but we're not going to pull him out right now because he's still.
Brian, it's been over a year since Foggy was shot, so kind of asked the same questions. Like, yeah, what's up with Bullseye? Why did he do it in the first place? Why did he do it in the first place? There's no resolution for that.
But we know he could break out. Come on, man. He can literally use a fork and kill somebody. Are we serious right now? like that's that. And then yeah, those are really my nitpicks. We still haven't gotten any.
What would be?
Oh, and then can we get a flashback of like to give us some more memory on stuff, because there's something missing. I'm sorry. When I watched this, I felt that there was something legitimately missing. From like we needed a memory down memory road. So those are my negatives. But yeah, this kindergarten fight needs to not have been in it. So.
Oh my god.
Better, Chris?
I'm going to agree that the fight wasn't as good if it's the real Muse. I don't think it's the real Muse, so I'm not going to really have that really as no real big thing on my list. I'm going to say when Daniel threatened BB like, hey, yo, if you say anything about him, I'm going to end you. I'm like, dude, you are like a baby. Like, what the hell are you talking about? You are the least threatening person in this entire show. So
yeah, but she don't know that.
You're saying, but I just want to slap him. Every time I see him on the screen, he's just like the worst character. Like I don't understand why he's a terrible character. There's no reason for him to say anything. He just shut the hell up. That's what he just sit in the corner, shut the hell up. It pisses me off every time I think about him.
Gandalf, right?
What?
No, I'm saying he's James Gandolfini's son.
Yeah,
The Sopranos. Yeah, so
yeah.
He's not a bad actor.
No,
he just need to shut up.
He's poorly written character. I didn't think this character is even necessary.
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea that Daredevil doesn't kill Muse, it just makes no damn sense to me.
Thank you.
I don't like the way they did that at all. It's just, why would you give me this Muse character and build him up and all this stuff, and then don't even let Daredevil be the one to make that decision to at all?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that it worked at all for me. And then when Heather says anyone who needs a mask is a coward, I think that's what she said, right? I don't know why she even said that, especially because I feel like her whole storyline is so weird. Like, so you're the one therapist in all of New York that talks to all the evil people, all of them. Like, there's something about her that I don't trust. Okay,
right.
That's cool.
That was cool.
That's cool, B. But I thought that was very weird in itself. It's just happenstance that they fall in love, yeah, and then within this love, so they haven't been together for the whole year. They've been together for I can't really tell the time. I thought it was real weird that they're saying I love you so much right now, so soon, and then as soon as she he says I love you, she gets in trouble. Like, it's just comical how this thing just happened right now. Like, I don't understand why they're doing that, because I think she could be a better character. I think all this stuff could be better thought out. And I think all the villains are kind of just thrown instead of having a plan to make these villains into more of Hell's Kitchen type of villain. Why are they doing this? So even with my negative, if it turns out that exactly what I'm thinking is going to happen, that Muse is not Muse, then that goes away. Then it's really good storytelling. But as of what it is doing right now for this one episode, I don't think these things are good. I have to say they're negative.
I got a hot take later.
All right, keep that thought in mind. JG, your negatives?
From the beginning, the whole Matt, I love you. I was like, oh my God, what? The only conversation we seen they had besides the first meeting was her book and her job. That's it. So you I guess you smashing and shouting all of a sudden, I love you, Matt. What the? There was
He
no.
should have said thank you. He should have been like, thank you.
Yeah, something. I'm like, what? I do why? Like for me, this whole season so far, I don't speak for myself. There's a bunch of characters that are just in the way.
No, that's a good one.
Oh yeah, that's true, Eli. I know, right? Okay. Anyway, that scene, Heather pisses me off. I don't like her. She's annoying. She's in a way. It's just like the district attorney woman that's now his assistant or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She's in the way. The only thing you hear her talk is, Matt, I need to talk to you. Matt, I need to talk to you. What's going on, Matt? Why are you there?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you there?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like you could go run through, do a running slash of their necks. I wouldn't care. I just would not care. There's just characters in the way. Cherry, also an annoying character for me. Let's see something else.
Sounds like a lot of DEI characters.
We'll say that for the OC. The whole fight scene, it just felt a little too choreographed. And like I said, this episode on its own is very solid. But after seeing what we saw in the last episode,
6,
it's like they just you could tell you had two different fight coordinators.
Mm-hmm.
You can just see it. And Heather killing Muse. And I'm hope to God, I shouldn't say God, my bad, Danny. I hope to high heavens that this isn't the real Muse.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope so. Because if it is,
I don't think it is.
I hope not. Because if it is, they just kind of torpedoed the whole season for me.
Facts.
You only have 2 episodes left. What are you going to do? Who's going to be the new big bad for Daredevil?
Mm-hmm.
Should I see it was something else?
Did you not have that problem when she was in that fight scene? She saw that bruise, like on the shower scene when she had the bruise on his back.
Yeah.
And
not only that, Muse sliced his leg. She sliced his thigh.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna play a part.
I still know. I didn't like the fact that he said, I'm tamping down my trauma, the trauma. And then she's like, it's not a fight, it's a process.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like that. Like, he's going through the process right now. I didn't think that was necessary at all.
Oh, don't worry. I got some stuff for that
this
too.
episode for me has had a lot of unnecessary stuff, right? It could have been a lot better. You would take out the unnecessary, put in things that make sense for me. Anyway.
Like the police, something to do more of the police. They're there, but they're not really there.
Sometimes that's what happens when you got DI hires. Just to let you know.
Yeah, and you're one of them on this stream. I just want you to know that. All right. Eli, go ahead with your negative, sir.
Like I said, there was one thing I have a negative about the fight scene in the office, and it actually kind of expands upon the question of, is this the real Muse? Because the problem I had is, how the hell does a normal human being take multiple hits to the forehead with that baton? I'm like, that's the problem I have with the fight. I'm like, okay, it's great, but that baton, like, what?
Yeah. Wasn't that the first thing he came in with? Was that baton? And
yes, I'm like, anybody's knocked on the ground. I'm like, what?
And then he kind of stick him in the back with that baton or whatever.
Yeah.
So blood.
Yeah.
It went through his shoulder, right? He shot it and it went through his
shoulder. Yeah, right at the end. The second thing, Matt Murdock's faith. You see him standing outside of a church. He can't go in because he can't do mass because he hasn't done confession yet. He can't be Daredevil because his Daredevil, when he has his mask on, it's based upon his religious faith, his Catholicism. He has to be forgiven, do confession, go to mass, so he can be morally set to be Daredevil, to do what needs to be done. There's no mention of his faith in there. How does he jump from being self-pity worth, I can't do this, I'm being Daredevil again? No, he told the kid, yeah. They didn't say that they didn't show that he went to church or anything. They just skipped over that. He's like, yeah, I'm back.
No, he went to confession like 2 or 3 episodes ago.
I don't remember.
No,
I don't
he
remember
didn't go to confession. He was just standing outside the church listening to the mass. He didn't go inside. He did not go inside. I did not recall that part. No.
Well, fine.
Well,
Whatever.
Continue
That's why I had a
what you're
problem. That's why I had a problem with the faith part. The second thing, what is up with Cherry? He's supposed to be some great detective, retired detective with underground contacts, get anything, but yet Fisk gets all the information about Sebastian before Cherry does. And Matt, what the hell's going on here? And if Fisk knows Matt's identity, and he even told him in the diner, he put on a mask, consequences will be paid. He's been confirmed several times. Daredevil's back. Why didn't he just pick up the phone and say, Matt, I know? That's all he has to say. He's not confronting Daredevil. I'm like, dude, you threatened the guy in the diner, and you're just letting him do what he wants to do. Like, what is going on with this part? That I don't like. I don't understand that part.
I gotcha. He will. They'll confront each other, definitely. I think probably the final episode. They're probably not gonna fight, right? I can't see them fighting.
No,
but there's definitely gonna be a confrontation, at least right now. Chris, negatives.
I didn't hate the fight, but the fight did feel like it was a lot less. I don't think it was a different fight coordinator. I think Brian's right. I don't think that's Muse. I don't think it's the same guy. Because, I'm sorry. If they did screw that up and made him not fight as well in this one, I don't know. I know he looks beat up. I know the other guy doesn't look beat up. There's a few of those things, but I don't know. I think that Brian's right about that. The other thing is I guess I've always had this problem with Daredevil. He always sounds the same. He sounds the same as he does as Matt Murdock. It's the same voice. He never changes his voice. So you were fully relying on the fact of, he couldn't do this because he's blind. And that's just a stretch for me because now he's been right there
talking
with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And she even says, I think he knows who I am, or I think he said my name. And then to the girl, it's like, and then he says the same lines he says to them as Daredevil, like, and when he says it the same way, it's like, I would be like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And this has always been my problem with Daredevil.
Though, because he to them he's blind and
Well, yeah, I know, but also how many blind people sound like him and have the damn beard and goatee? Come on, people. That's the other thing. I keep thinking of that. Every time I see him, he's got the beard there, and I'm like, okay, now we're really narrowing things down here, folks.
I think
it's like Superman wearing sunglasses. Like, dude, you look like Clark Kent.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing is you blind, but you always going into battle somewhere. Right?
Yeah. Well, and she didn't figure that out.
Why did you go back into the bank? You know what I mean? Like,
because she's sitting there talking to him and saying, you need to tell me about this. We need to talk, and you need to release your trauma and all that. It's like, okay, you haven't put two and two together yet. You're a freaking psychiatrist. You're supposed to. You should be able to at least
a psychologist, therapist,
psychiatrist. Yeah. You know what? One gives pills, one doesn't. Whatever.
She's not good.
No, well, and I don't know. That was just those things.
Yourself into saying it's not a great episode. It was good.
Oh no.
By itself is good. I just don't know if it's a great. With everything else that you've done,
but it's not that. It's just these little things that add up. But I do think that you're right, Brian, and like you said, as long as they go that way, as long as it happens that way, then
all of a sudden you say this, everything was good.
It works. But again, I'll go back and say what I say almost every week with every one of these Disney shows, except for the greatest Disney show they have so far, which is Andor.
He didn't say that, did he?
Yeah, and it just kicked him off the stream. Sorry, Chris.
Okay,
I
thank
apologize,
you.
bro.
I'm like,
But you
wow.
cannot come back talking like that.
Whatever.
Whoa.
Whatever. Elihu, don't act like you don't believe that. No, but it's just, are they going to do it? Are they going to be smart and play that role? I just watched today. I just ran through Echo, and I'm like, Echo wasn't bad either, and the story they were trying to tell was good. And I just want them to step it up though, because we get these shows, Captain or Falcon the Winter Soldier. These shows that you're like, okay, and then as WandaVision continued, they know how to do this. They can kind of they can stick the landings and stuff. But this is definitely one they've got to stick, because if they leave it where this was Muse and this is how Muse went out and all of this stuff in there, yeah, this is not going to be good. But I do think Brian's right. So yeah, I mean, as much as I think those are problems in this episode, I'm leaning on the fact that I think it's somebody else, and so it's not that bad.
Chris, I have a question for you.
24, 42,
No,
42.
68.
Well, 68. Well, that's actually maybe but the question was, do you think the Marvel direction is better than a Secret Invasion for
The
Daredevil?
what?
Remember how
Yes.
Secret Invasion got us all hyped, like Daredevil was getting us all hyped, and then how it just slowly just bombed and just crashed? And this is like
Yes,
the way you
because
describe it, Daredevil is like slowly bombing, starting to crash. Do you
Maybe
think
you were
it's
yes.
kind of similar to that?
Hold on.
Secret
Yes, I
Invasion
think
was
this is
good until
better.
the last episode, though.
Yes,
Yeah, that's why I said
think.
crash.
Okay, whoa. I think it is better because of one thing. The scrolls, if you don't know how to write them properly, if you don't know how to write the elements that they were working with properly, it falls flat. And they didn't, obviously at the end, they had a lot of things right, and then they didn't understand what they were doing. This doesn't rely on all those elements. It's pretty simple to say we can pull a bait and switch with a crazy person and act like he's Muse, and people might buy it long enough for us to turn around and show you the real one.
Gotcha.
It's not as difficult to pull this off as that one. So I don't give them a pass, but this isn't as difficult.
I'm just gonna say something super
Okay.
quick.
I'll be right back, guys.
I
Hold
might
on.
be the only outlier, but Secret Invasion should have been a movie, not a series. So
I
That's
agree.
what everybody on the internet was
agree.
saying.
Yeah, I agree. It should have been a movie. Danny, negatives. Hey, Dandelion, how you doing?
The way I know he has super touch and all that kind of stuff, but the way he kind of found out who Muse was joined with his girlfriend and stuff, I don't know if I know he did the thing with his fingers over her face, but could that translate? I know he got super sensitive feelings, so I was like, that's kind of stretching just a little bit to me. I thought it was.
He's done that in the comic books as well. So
yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean,
out of comics, yeah.
Trying to think. I really don't have a negative that I mean, I can see. I went back and I was watching the fight scene, and I don't see where it's elementary on. I mean, it was kind of violent. I mean, he shot the sucker. I'm not saying the length of it. I don't have no argument with you, but it was kind of violent. I mean, he shot the thing through the man's chest. I went back
shoulder,
and he was pounding on pretty good. I mean, could it have been longer? Would it have been better if it was longer? Most definitely. I can't argue that point. The fact that she shot him, I mean, it made sense. It wasn't too far fetched. To me, it was kind of crazy. He was beating on him, then all of a sudden he stopped beating on him. Muse had enough time to grab the knife and run halfway across the room. Then he shot him with his whatever baton thing. But then he had the upper hand the whole time, and then she shot him. But I could see why she shot him, because we've seen this in other movies where a woman is so traumatized that when she get the guns, shoots and shoots and shoots and shoots. That's pretty much what she did with this gun. So I mean, I don't Negatives, I really don't have any that just is glaring out there like y'all did. So that's about it.
Sorry for changing the topic, but that new Devil May Cry TV show on Netflix is fire. I'm gonna
It's
watch
better
it.
than 2020. It's better than 2021 or 2019. I love that one.
It's pretty
But
good.
back to business.
Ooh, okay.
Back to business. This Daredevil episode is good. I love the game Devil May Cry, so I'm definitely gonna watch it.
I heard
Yeah.
it
Devil May
was
Cry 4 is one of my favorite videos.
I love the original.
Which one? What's that?
4.
4. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
4 is the best. That game is fire. I have the remastered on my Xbox there, man. That game is fire, bro. The combos you can do, jump up in the air, hit the sword, shoot the guns. Yeah, it is definitely
The sword gun.
Yeah, yes, definitely. All righty. You guys ready? You got your popcorn ready? Because now we're gonna get into my negatives.
Let me load my bowl.
So first off, what the fuck was Muse's plan? You are telling me that you went into the office, her office. There's nobody else in the building. It's just her, right? Your plan was to do what? Go in the office, kill her, because it looked like he was trying to wrap her up to take her out of there or whatever.
Yep.
Like, so
carry down this rug.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, so what was your plan? Like, it did not make sense to me. Like, you're revealing yourself in the office. You have no out. You're not getting out of that office alive. So
Counterpoint on that, Nzo.
I got one too.
Yeah, I got one on that. I counterpoint. Okay. You notice as an artist, they signed their artwork. The first thing he did was write his name on her arm. She was his artwork. That's why she was doing what he was doing to her. It wasn't a painting. It was her as the piece.
Really quick.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
I actually, it's more common than you would know with people in that profession that they have their own offices and to cut down costs, because when somebody wants their own practice like that, and lawyers do this too, they don't hire a lot of staff. I remember back in the day when my family went to some counseling sessions, that counselor would be in there by themselves at night because it was their practice, and they would leave and close up after we left.
It was a night though.
Yeah, and it's the middle of the day.
I know.
So like,
I know, but
in the office
I'm just saying,
the second floor.
Yes. I understand.
Throughout the
but
my dad's a psychologist with his own office.
I'm just saying,
there's other people in the building usually because in that type of building, it's
I understand that. We don't know that, but yes, I understand that. I'm just saying. No,
in New York, that's almost guaranteed.
I'm just saying it could be. Listen, and also he's a crazy man. Is he going to think straight? Probably not.
But music's a genius. That's the problem.
I understand, but like you said, Brian, I'm on board with you. I'm just saying that portion of it, her being by herself, isn't unheard of, and him being put in a situation like he was. He's probably not thinking completely straight.
Oh, the kid scream.
Danny, you had a
particular person.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say.
I don't know. I want to answer yours, Chris. Go ahead, Danny.
I was just saying to agree more with what Brian's saying. This is not Muse, and I think this guy got rushed because Daredevil finding him in his lair in the subway. It really fast forwarded his plan. So where he's going to be meticulous and thought it out and be well planned, he had to speed up his process because he knew there was heat on him. So he wasn't thinking clearly because he's not the real Muse. This is just somebody who is, I guess, copycatting or whatever, or maybe a disciple of Muse. But
thank you. That's the word I was thinking.
Muse kind of gave him. It's kind of like on the God, what's the Star Wars movie we didn't like? The Acolyte.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking for a disciple to train. So I think he trained him, but you know how the Acolyte didn't tell old girl who he was and revealed to the very end. This is the same kind of setup. I think this guy is training Muse from afar, but not really letting him know who he is. And then once this happened, it kind of fast forward the plans, and that's why he did stupid sporadic stuff. To your point.
Okay, so I will say this, right? If it's not the Muse or whatever, yeah, I get you 100%. Like, and that's gonna be talking when I get to my next point, right? But it's just your plan was not a good plan, whether you're a disciple or you're the real muse. It wasn't a good plan. Like, and Chris was like, I don't care what office you're talking about. If it's in the middle of the day, there are other people in other offices. They were on like the second floor, the third floor, whatever floor they were on. So there are people in that building, 100%.
Parking garage.
There's people in that building. So that's my thing, right? Brian, you were going to say something real quick?
Well,
go ahead.
Hold on, let Brian go. No, go ahead, Brian.
I was just going to say, we'll disagree. He will disagree on that because I know situations, but I understand where you're coming from also because I know more often than not you are right.
Rare,
but it's exactly
rare.
Very right. That is, I'll agree with. It's rare. And again, I think that's going into it too much.
No,
but yes,
if you're right. So as I said, my dad has multiple offices, right? So one office he's by himself in a building, right? But even in that building, there's still dentists and all that stuff inside that same building. So there will always be someone, and that's in like a small like strip one. The one that he's in, and it's in the building, like with on the second level. That means it has to have a commercial space underneath. That means there's people in. There are people walking by all the time.
Okay, really quick. So let me put it this way.
It's totally not thrown out. That's why he can't.
There is the old Sprint campus here, the world headquarters of Sprint, which is now T-Mobile bought them out, and T-Mobile still owns this whole campus. There is so much office space there. The friend of mine in a building with over 150 like small offices. His dad had the big office that was on the top floor in the middle, and there was no one else in that building. And there's hardly ever anybody.
I guarantee you that's not in New York.
No, you're right.
Exactly. You can't equate New York to that, Chris. It's two different places.
In New York.
Totally different.
But again, it can happen. But I don't know if that's really anything that makes a difference per se. Especially if you're right, Brian. Because then this guy ain't the guy that has the super intellect and knows what he's doing.
He's just doing stuff. And there's this episode of Bones. It's actually a huge part of the Bones, where like the gravedigger has like a protege, and he gets them to do these things to keep him from getting caught because he's that smart. You know, that's what I'm thinking. I have that type of thing. I'm so smart that I'm putting different people out there to pretend that they're me, so you don't ever catch me. You know, and if that's what they're doing, then that's fine. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense, but it's hard doing that still in the 9-episode season.
So you think they're rushing a rope-a-dope?
I think so.
And you see, this is where my other negative comes in, right? And I said it on like Muse dying, right? Now, if that's not the real Muse, then I'll come back and say, okay, they did it great. But I'm going from what we've seen and what I heard them saying that it's possible that they did that to end the Muse story arc. If they did that, then that is a waste of a character. You had this secret, you had this character that you were building up from the first episode to kill him off just like that so easy. Not to mention, even if you were going to do that, then the fight he had with Daredevil should have been better and longer. All right. Then it's like, okay, I get it, right? At least he had this big, amazing fight, whatever. But he had like a 2-minute fight. And then, like Brian said, it wasn't even killed by Daredevil. It was killed by Heather. So that's an issue for me, too. The second one comes to, and then again, so we're not going to argue about if there were people in the building. There were. I say there were people in the building, but let's just say the cops just decide to just bum rush in. Right? They're like, okay, we're gonna do this. We don't know who's in the building. We don't know if any of the hostages or nothing. We just gonna rush the place. I was like, come on now.
Well, that's kind of the task force. That's kind of their thing, though. They are the ones that cross the line. They are the ones that push too hard. They are the ones to skirt the right and wrongs of their job. That's why they're there.
Yes.
So I don't necessarily have.
No, I'm saying I get that, but at the same time, what they're doing is they still have to be careful for civilians, right? They're going after the vigilantes. That's what Kingpin wants, but you can't do that and have civilians casualties in the way.
Okay,
right?
Let's play your side of that. And then after it's all said and done, there's several casualties of regular civilians. Look at what Fisk did at the end of it. You killed him. They're gonna say that he's gonna say, no, you didn't kill the civilians, he killed them. That's obviously that's how they would play it if that was how they did it.
Right. And you could play it to a degree depending on how some of the civilian died, but I get that, right? Now, the other thing that I had was I don't know, but I don't like Vanessa. I don't. You know what I mean? And it was just weird all of a sudden. Like I get it, she wants to be the boss, but I don't know, her trying to kill Kingpin is kind of making Kingpin feel kind of soft to me. We'll see what he does to handle the situation. But right now, like I said earlier, it seems like he's just blinded by this love. You know what I mean?
Last two shows made him look soft.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
The last two shows he been on Hawkeye and
oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I think they're playing into that a little bit too hard with that. But I mean, at the end of the day, we'll see how he handles the Vanessa thing to show it. You know what I mean? Oh, another thing too. Okay, so I know in one of the episodes when we first came across the fake muse, I'll say, he talks to Vanessa and he's like, oh, I need your help, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden in this episode, they've had like fucking how many? And it's like, wait, when did this happen? You should have at least gave us a little, maybe him walking out the office when Matt is coming in to at least so that we know that you were, it's just like all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, you've been helping me. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? Like the last time we see you talk to Vanessa, you were asking for help. So that should have at least gave us some information that he was actually going to see Vanessa, right? Something in between there. I just thought that came just out of nowhere, right? And then the last thing is we have, I can't remember the name, the black dude and the black girl, right? They are 100% the fake Foggy and fake Karen. That's exactly the same role that Foggy and Karen were playing in the first two episodes, right? Until Karen found out that he was Daredevil. So what are you going to do? You're going to do the same thing with these two characters? Or you're going to bring back Foggy in the next season, bring back Karen in the next season, and then these two characters are just written out? Like, I don't understand what the plan was with that situation. And I don't care about Heather, right? Like, I don't care about that character. I don't care about the two black characters. Like, they're just there. You know what I mean? At least Foggy and Karen had a lot more to do in these episodes, and they just do nothing, right? You had no problem with helping Daredevil before you knew he was Matt Murdock. What?
And Matt called him out on that too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I said before in the past, Nzo, when it was on Netflix, you had the sub characters, which their plot line intervened with Matt Murdock's character and Fisk's character. This is just Matt Fisk. Matt Fisk. Oh, you got a little cherry here. Matt Fisk. There's no ensemble connection. I think that's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah,
pretty much. I agree that black female Laura, she's useless. She doesn't tell the story at all.
Yeah.
I don't agree with y'all. I like Heather and I like Vanessa.
Oh, really? Okay. Now, I'm not a big fan of Vanessa. I'm not a big fan of Heather either. Anik said in the comics, Fozzie faked his death twice. I'll go that, but go ahead.
Let me change about Vanessa.
Right here. 46. There you
Vanessa, 46. I think Vanessa is a necessary plot point.
That's when it does it.
You said tomorrow.
You were saying, Danny?
I said maybe not like so much Vanessa, but I think she's a necessary plot point and layer to the Kingpin arch. Because he's battling Daredevil and all this kind of stuff. That is the internal battle between him and her. He's internalizing her betrayal with Adam. Then she's trying to be the queen pin, and then on top of that, she wants to be all gangster. He wants to be kind of hybrid of both gangster and mayor. So I think she's necessary. I think she's a good plot point. Not necessarily to drive the story, but she's a good layer to the development of the Kingpin, in my opinion.
So I agree with you on that 100%. For me, I just don't like her in general. I'm like, I'm just not vibing with her. You know what I mean? So yeah, that but you did say this. Anik said this. Foggy faked his death in the comment twice. Yes, exactly. But like I said earlier, so you're gonna, and depending on how they do the Muse, you're gonna fake Muse's death, right? Because even if they say that's not Muse and it's someone else, you faked his death for us. So you faked his death, you're faking Foggy's death, and then you're gonna bring both of them back in season 2. So do deaths really matter? You know what I mean?
It doesn't
Like
Star Wars, so why
like
should it matter here?
does someone dying really matter if you're actually just gonna bring them back and fake their deaths? You know, and I don't. I
Somehow
have an issue.
Palpatine returned.
Well, the
Yeah,
Muse
exactly.
death, if he's dead, it's a fake Muse, then that really don't count. But I get what you're saying with the Foggy aspect of it. But the Muse,
Well,
that could be a driving point in the plot to try to show deception. So
try to build him up and see how smart he is, and like I think the storyline they're going to go to for season 2 is like I don't know, Inferno.
Wait, do you want to say that for predictions, dude?
Okay, yeah, go ahead, yeah.
There's one more thing I thought about too, and I forgot about.
Yeah,
maybe
go ahead,
I gotta go back and watch it again because my husband might be playing tricks on me. But the scene where the useless lawyer assistant to Matt would try to talk to him, and he was about to go talk to Cherry. You just realized that the door was cracked open in that room they sat in.
I didn't pay any attention.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, the door that wasn't always closed.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, this is a lot of nonsense in this show that it really just get rid of. But apparently, the next 2 episodes are kind of their new thing that they're doing.
Yeah,
the other ones were some with the old regime stuff. So
yeah,
maybe it gets better.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, so I agree with you, Danny. It's different, but to us right now, Muse is dead, right? So even if you bring him back, it's like we think Muse is dead. Oh, it's my bad. I meant to bring Chris. We think
dude, come on.
Yeah, my bad. We think Muse is dead, and then he comes back. So that's technically faking his death kind of a way. I see what you're saying, right? Because it's different character in the way they've done it. And you can do it to where it's like, okay, I get it. It makes sense. But to me, you still faked his death. And then you're doing that twice in the same series. So I don't know. I just have a little bit of an issue with that, you know? So other than that, though, guys, we're going to get into our grades. And if we have any predictions, I'm going to let you start it off, Danny. What's your grade for this episode and your predictions? What's up, Joe Black? How you doing, brother?
I give this a B+, A-, somewhere in that category. My main prediction is I think Kingpin will give Bullseye a pardon, or he will help facilitate his escape, because I don't think his cop squad is going to be able to handle Daredevil. Mm-hmm. So the only person that we've seen so far that seems to give Daredevil some real legit issues is Bullseye. So I think that when all else has failed, and I think he's going to find out that maybe Heather is his girlfriend, and he may kill her, and then that may kind of set Daredevil over the edge. But I think one of those two things, or maybe both of them. I definitely think Heather's dead. Mm-hmm. Whether it's going to be at Kingpin's hand or whether his wife's going to figure it out, I'm not certain. But I think she's dead, because that seems to be a reoccurring theme with Matt's girlfriend. He is not successful in the matters of the heart.
I agree. Because if I'm not mistaken, didn't Karen get shot in one of the seasons? Side too?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
in the movie, Electra got killed. And there's
maybe they all fine. I don't know, for someone who's blind, he picked the best looking women.
I saw that name, man.
Facts.
They're all fine.
Facts. Brian, predictions and grades.
I think they're going towards the storyline. I don't know if you guys seen Daredevil Inferno.
Oh yeah.
And it's like a non-stop, like we're talking about slow, how this is a slow burn. Inferno is nuts. It highlights how Matt is an unbelievable fighter, hand to hand. He gets beat up all the time, but you have Rhino, you have Muse, you have Bullseye, you have Kingpin, you have all these guys, but they're setting all this up right now. And I think that's where we're getting that. That's why they didn't want it as one season. They want it as 2 different seasons, because one's going to be a slow like rise to the top, and the other one's going to be like a roller coaster flying down because it's so much that happens. And if you do that, you'll look at this as one whole season. You'll say this is an amazing show. But it's just season 1 is the slow rise, and season 2 is going to be flying. So I think that's what it is going to happen. But as far as this episode, I think it's a C+. It was a decent episode by itself, but in the grand scheme of things, I just don't like it. Because you gave me the best episode in 6, so 7 is not necessarily the same. So in that context, I don't like that, but it's still C+. It was a good episode.
I got you, Eli.
Before I do my grade, I just want to say, Brian, that's the same kind of arc they wanted for Firefly before it got canceled. Same thing they're doing right here. The same thing they're doing here. Slow arc, mild action, character build up, then roller coaster in season 2, but it got canceled. Let's hope they continue with season 2 and 3. My prediction for this episode is an A-.
This is the one, Joe, right here. Inferno.
Yes, sir.
It's fire.
I hope so.
Go ahead, Eli.
Okay. My prediction. I still think Fisk knows that Vanessa tried to put a hit on him, and this is when they have a discussion, and this is when they finally introduce the kid. They finally have a kid, and that's what stops him from killing her because he loves her so much, and he now has a kid. I think this is when they get introduced to him being a dad. And they got to bring Frank Castle back in because they got to find out who poses him, which basically means he's going to find out. He's going to go after the cop squad. Fisk is going to get wind of this. He's going to get pissed. He's like, okay, let's do something. This is going to be something with the cop, like you said, Nzo. It's going to be Cop Squad, the last 2 episodes. Frank Castle has to return for this. He's got to be a part of this. And for Matt, I don't think he's fully reconciled as Daredevil because he's still kind of fumbling. He's like, am I a lawyer? Am I defending justice? Or am I defending the innocent here in courts? He's still conflicted. I don't think they're going to have a solid arc for him for his conflicting dilemma with his dual personality in this season. I don't think they're going to do that. They're going to still have a little iffy here, iffy there, iffy here. But they're going to continue with the harsh Fisk negative bad guy because that's what Marvel's doing right now. They got concentrated on bad guys. Doomsday, Sentry. They're concentrated on bad guys. They're promoting bad guys here. The enemy. You don't see them promoting Ant-Man, Captain America anymore. No, they're promoting the villain. So I think they're going to still go with the harsh turn toward Fisk, but still manipulating Daredevil. Matt's like, maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Still confused. Doing his little impersonals, like a little self-molding, like he always does. Like, I can't do a good Matt on Daredevil. So that's my little prediction, though.
I got you. Dandelion said, "Isn't Vanessa a bit past getting the pregnant phase of her life?" I don't know. I guess.
Well,
it's MCU. Anything can happen.
Exactly. Yeah, why not? 101. Was that a 96-year-old woman just gave birth in India? I think.
JG, what are your thoughts, predictions, and grade?
Ooh, on its own, I would give it a B-. On its own, compared to last episode, maybe in that C- range, C-, C+ range. Yeah, I don't know. As far as predictions go, I think everything's gonna come full circle. Fisk gonna find out that Heather and Matt are together. Matt's gonna find out Heather's was their therapist, and everything will come full circle. And I think that's when all the manipulation, it's the game plan that's gonna start happening. Earlier, before I predicted that maybe we'll see a defender, whatever you call it, that group coming in later. I'm not sure as much now. Maybe the last episode of the season, but who knows? But I think this next episode is going to be just a full circle episode where everyone finds out who everyone is as far as relationships and all that other stuff. Maybe Heather finds out that Matt is Daredevil or suspects it because his leg did get slashed. Maybe he says ouch or something. She looks down and is like, oh, didn't Mew slash that? So maybe that happens. I don't know.
I got you, Chris.
Yes, I'm thinking B.
Volume.
Oh, hold
Yeah.
on. Give me a second.
Yeah, I know you're on your computer, but volume, please.
Well, I'm using my Bluetooth, so
That's
that
why.
off.
Okay.
So hold on.
Yeah.
Let me try this. Is that better?
Why?
Hello?
Yeah, you sound good.
All right.
Little static, but it's okay. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay. Go ahead.
No problem.
So I'd give it about a B, high B, B, low B, B plus. I mean, predictions, man. I like Brian's idea. I like it a lot. I think that there's a good chance that he might be right. If that happens, going back to what you were kind of saying about they faked Foggy's death, and then they did this. This isn't really a fake as much as it is a bait and switch. It leads you to believe that you get what you think you got, but sit there and kind of think in the back of your head, man, that was really easy, and then you'll find out why. Now again, and I always, when we start going down these rabbit holes, I always say, are they smart enough to have the right writers?
I agree with you, Dandelion.
That would be messed up. There's Adam's baby.
Uglies.
Oh my god.
They won't say
Adam's
she's
baby,
pregnant.
it'll be it.
Lovely.
Oh.
It would be
But for sure, if they're smart enough to play that card, I'll give it to them. I'm not convinced about Foggy. I'm not sure if Foggy's going to even be in the rest of this portion of this season, or if they're calling it 2 seasons now, or just a split season or whatever. I'm not certain we're going to see him this time. If they do play that part, that's going to be later on. The Muse thing, I would hope if that's what they're doing, they're going to show it to us right at the end of the last one. Because that, again, that's the only time it works, because then what you said, Nzo, comes up. It starts feeling like the Mandarin thing again. It's like, okay, you faked this out. And then there was rumors there for like the first 6 movies after that. They said, oh, they're going to bring the Mandarin. They're going to bring the real Mandarin. Because they kept on showing things that hinted towards it. And then it took them till phase, 6 or 5 or what? I mean, it's so far down the line. It's like, oh my God, people, that's too late. It's like the Black Widow movie. There's timing involved in this one. So they really need to land that. So if that's what they do, it's about timing on this now. Other than that, though, I mean, I do get the feeling that Vanessa is definitely after taking out Kingpin, but I don't think this time it was that. I do think it was them both working together, and that's why he was so casual about it. I just, it's another day. I knew this was going to happen. I mean, he probably would play it the same way if she had something to do with it, but I don't think in this particular time it is, because they've talked about him upping the price with them. They talked about that. She said he's not going to do it. And then they said, well, there's other ways to make people pay. And I think that's their roundabout way of trying to work together. She's obviously the one that's got to send him, and it comes across real when she says, yes, do it. And it was perfectly timed. So I think she was working with Fisk on this. But I do still think she's going to try to take out Fisk once he, with her help, takes out everybody else.
That could be interesting. Joe Black said in the same sentence, he said, I don't want to spoil nothing, but Fisk already has a kid. That's interesting.
How do you say I don't want to spoil, but then spoil at the same time?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to tell you I don't want to tell you she ate the whole thing, but she ate the whole thing, man.
I'm not sure in this
that damn Joe Black, I swear, every time.
I don't know if you'll have a kid or son in this iteration of it, because of the way things are going. I'm not sure that the same thing's going to happen. But I mean, I'll be interesting to see, but I'm not positive that he will.
I agree. I'm not 100% sure either. My grade for this episode is a flat out F. That is correct.
Wow.
This episode
We're fantastic. Nice.
I'm back. Sorry.
It's okay, Warren. This episode is getting an F for me. And
I can't believe it.
Damn.
Oh my god.
F for fantastic.
I told you this guy hates puppies, man.
War-
Somebody better warn John Wick.
Warren, what are your grades and predictions?
My grade is a B minus. It was not.
Damn.
It was Yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It was close to a C. My predictions are fairly simple. A little bit more of Vanessa we're probably gonna get. I have a feeling since we're getting to the later episodes, somebody's gonna die. My prediction is Heather probably dies. Because she's getting so close to Matt. This is something that I thought of. I think the guy that is working with Fisk, the right hand guy, I think that could be his son.
That's what he's saying. The person that's on the Daniel is actually his son. But I didn't want to go there, but yeah.
I think.
I could see that. I could see it.
Yeah, that's and then I don't something about the costume and the way like the Matt having a beard. It's just that just seems like he's sloppy because Matt typically doesn't have a beard. He's like more clean and whatever. So maybe towards the end he gets a new costume. So I think
that's a way to show that he's not quite in the right spot.
Right.
He already has four other ones in his closet.
Yeah, but we haven't seen the black one so far.
I know. I love the black one.
You thinking the young intern might be his son? Since he kind of gave him a second chance.
Yeah, so Daniel, they basically could have him as what's his name? Ferris, Butch Ferris. It could be that one. Because in comics you have Richard Fisk, and you have Byron Ferris, and I think it'll be the Byron Butch Ferris thing.
Yeah, that's what he said.
But yeah, that's oh, and my hot take: by the end of this year, Ironheart will be better than Daredevil.
Oh my god! Wow, you're Team Riri, aren't you?
You know what? I'm gonna second you on that one, Warren. I'm gonna second.
I might third you on that one.
I just watched Black Panther 2, and her character was not that great. I'm like, come on.
Oh, I can stand her, but
no, I was watching last night. I'm like,
let's not call it Black
getting her own spinoff.
Call it Wakanda Forever.
Black Panther 2. Sorry.
Danny,
thank you for the correction. Thank you for that correction.
Danny, you're gonna let them sit there and say that about Wakanda Forever?
No, I don't engage with idiots.
Then why are you here?
Just remember on 4/7.
He's probably asking himself that question.
I am tonight.
Just remember on 4/7/2025. This stream at 9:49 Eastern.
Oh God!
Ironheart will be better at the end of this year, and you guys will agree with me. And I was like, okay.
And I got to go back to this because Joe Black is on point. He said, "I'm with bigger D+ at best." Absolutely. You see, Joe Black, we right there, brother. We on the same page. Now I got one more question before we close it up to you.
What was Brian Gray?
C+.
Okay. Yeah, it wasn't as bad as mine, Daddy. It wasn't as bad as mine. But I got a question for you guys, and we'll go around the panel and answer. It'll start with you, Daddy.
The next time this happens.
Is Vanessa trying to kill Kingpin, or is she working with him, Danny?
I think on this episode she's working with him, but I agree with what Warren said. I think her objective is to become the Queenpin.
Okay, got you, Chris.
Yeah, I think she's working with him in this episode, but I think she's going to work with him to get rid of the people that she's been leading, because those are people she had to work with to get this all built up the way she wanted it. And now that he's come back into this pseudo role of trying to kind of cap her, because the first thing he said whenever they first talked was, "I need you to understand that I can't have things happening a certain way." And so he kind of said, "Okay, I'm going to put some reins on you." And she didn't like that. So she begins to let them all kind of do their own thing, start to cause problems and stuff. He goes to her and says, "What do we do about this?" "Well, we can try to get them to do this or this or this." And he goes along with it. She plays, "I'm going to work with you." He takes them all out. he takes them all out, and then I think that's when she will take them. So right now she's working with him, but I do think her end objective will be to kill him or try to.
Gotcha. Brian.
I think she's playing both sides of the road. This time she's not trying to she's with Fisk on this, because if Vanessa wanted to kill him, she doesn't need someone else to do it. She feeds him, she lives with him. She doesn't need someone else to do that. It would be something like poison. It wouldn't be with a gun. You don't go after a big dude like that with a gun. You go with it with with a cup of ice cream, with a piece of cake, something to that effect. You don't do that. So she doesn't need him to kill. So I think that she's looking for her best opportunity. She's going to play both sides of the fence. If it's better to be in his pocket, she's going to stay in his pocket. If it's better for her to extend her legs, that's what she'll do.
Gotcha. Eli.
Fisk has never left anything undone when he was known as the Kingpin. He wouldn't just have the guy killed. He would have him maimed and injured as a lesson for not paying up or listening to him or obeying his orders. He would just have the guy whacked. No, that is not his style. I think that Vanessa actually set him up. And that was a cool little indication. It's like, hey, that's why after she wants this. Like, hey, I know what you did. Because this is not Kingpin's style. No. He would have maimed that guy as an example, not just whack him off.
Not as
So I think Vanessa, still, he's going back to his old, reverting to his old characteristic self. So he would not just kill the guy, he would whack. He would just injured and maim him as an example. It's like, hey,
he literally
you
just
know what
did the
happened to
last
me?
episode with Adam.
That was private. That was private. That was a private event. This is a public event where people know in the criminal underground that he owes Fisk money. Fisk would not give an example of a bang. No, okay. Oh, okay. You're gonna come out and just run away. No, Fisk will find you and maim you, so you won't be able to run away. This is the style he is.
So
this
did
is
Vanessa
why I think
set him up or not?
Yes, I believe Vanessa set him up.
Okay. Eli. I'm not Eli. JG. First off, Dandelion said gunshot seems like a poor choice since Fisk survived a gunshot to the face. Facts. Facts.
Exactly.
To the eye, exactly. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I think
put a Band-Aid
the way
over
it looks in the Echo episode, I think it kind of ricocheted off, but I don't know how that's possible because she was dead point blank, but whatever.
Yeah, they didn't show it.
But no, I agree with that. I don't think the gunshot's going to be the way.
All right, JG.
To quote Russell Crowe from The Gladiator, I think she has a great talent for survival. I think that she's probably doing one and the same. I think she's playing both sides as long as it helps her, but she also has a knack to kind of use her feminine charms to kind of bring Fisk down when she needs it. Or she could be molding him to be the mayor that she needs so that she can be the queen pin on the ground. So, I mean, it's almost like they have complete power. You know, the government power and underground power. So that could be it.
I can kill you if you're in your face, or I kill you to the side, no matter what.
Exactly.
I'm going to get you.
Exactly.
So
that could be
did she try to kill him, or is she working with him?
I see. That's tough. That's a tough
Well, that's the fucking question I asked, man.
I'm trying to think. Damn it, shit. All right. Well, you know what? I'm finna answer.
Okay, good.
I think she did both. I think she gave Luca the address. No, listen. I think she gave Luca the address and also told Fisk, so if Luca was able to kill Fisk, it works in her favor. Fisk was able to kill Luca, it works in her favor.
This motherfucker just find a way to cheat. All right, cool.
Why did I cheat? I got it. Don't give me an exact answer like you wanted me to answer.
Warren, did Vanessa set up Kingpin, or was was she working with him?
Good question. I think she's working with him. I believe because she wants the Kingpin. She doesn't want Mayor Fish. She wants Kingpin back.
I got you.
It's pronounced Fisk, not Fish.
Yeah. Well,
Fish.
okay.
But I do know in the comics that Kingpin, that Vanessa's dead. So because he marries someone new, so
Yep.
that could be a turning point for him. A big turning point that happens. So
I got you. I'm gonna say that Vanessa actually tried to kill Kingpin, and his call to her was like, "Oh yeah, I'm still alive." You know what I mean?
Yeah, by
Because for
saying,
me,
"Hey, ask her if she wants their wine or favorite wine or
yeah,
whatever." Yeah,
yeah, exactly, right? Because for me, when I think about it, Kingpin is getting to where he's supposed to be, but he's not quite there yet. Now, with the fact that Vanessa tried to kill him, is going to push him to go 100% full Kingpin. Doesn't matter that he's mayor or not, he's going to do exactly what he wants to do. And I think that's what that Vanessa thing is going to
I
push
think
him
you don't
over.
like Vanessa, and that's what you're trying to say that.
If possible. I think Vanessa's gonna get killed either a mask or a cop squad, maybe even the stormers. Interesting.
Strong
Well,
winds.
that's it, guys. Thank you all for popping in. Much appreciated. We got through this episode. Thank you, Jesus, that there are only two more left, which is one tomorrow. So make sure you come through while me and Danny watch the Daredevil episode 8 in the watch party. Danny, tell the people where they can find you one last time, sir.
You can find me on Mondays and Fridays on my channel, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also find me tomorrow, again with Nzo. We'll be breaking down the next episode. Wednesdays, you can find me on the Hangout, also on OC sometimes, and then Sundays, Storms Live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But 7, correction,
Yes.
7.
Yes, sir. Mr. Knight, where can they find you, sir? Thank you, Joe Bach. Appreciate it. Chris? Can't hear you. Huh.
I
next.
think he.
Guess
Yeah, I
that.
think something's wrong with his mic again. His sound might be off again. He just unmuted and muted himself.
I guess we're gonna have to go back to the drawing board and take another 2 years to make sure it's fixed correctly, right? Brian, where can they find you, sir?
And 1/3 of Spoiler Kings, we go on live in about half an hour. We'll be on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And then tomorrow I'll be with Anzo. Break it down from, because it's the best show. If you're not watching it, you should be.
I watched that show.
It's
Too.
Tony, you, Danny.
100%.
Yeah, I got one now. I'm gonna say real quick, give it a plug. Mobland. You gotta check it out, bro. Mobland is fire. It is
I've
with
heard a lot of
Pierce
people.
Brosnan, Tom Hardy, and what's that lady name?
Oh yeah, I
Helen
did
Mirren.
hear about that.
It's on Paramount Plus. Check it out.
Yeah.
Fire.
I like Paramount Plus.
Yeah, I seen the little preview for it too.
You
Yeah,
don't like
I'm
violence,
just,
don't watch it, buddy. It ain't for the faint of heart. So I gotta tell
No,
And
you.
I'm also
definitely.
gonna give out. I'm also gonna give out a free plug. Peacemaker season 2, August 21st.
Yep.
Yeah,
HBO
I'd rather,
Plus. Yeah.
I'd rather watch that than Mobland. Chris, you back? Mr. Knight, you back?
Yep, I'm here.
Go ahead. Let people know where they can find you, sir.
Yeah, sorry, I was just it switched my audio source on
I am.
StreamYard. Anyways, you can find me on my fucking computer now because at least I have a few plugs. But that's because I'm using my Bluetooth and I didn't have Bluetooth before on here. But I am very happy that I'm even down here, even though I don't have my computer or my camera hooked up yet. But we're gonna be getting back to some shit, dude. We're gonna be doing some stuff now.
So next week the camera will be back on.
It might be on tomorrow. I don't know. I mean, it just depends. I got other things I'm doing, but yeah, I can put it on tomorrow. I mean,
So you're gonna have a new intro song, like "Look Who's Back, Look Who's Back." Chris Snyder's back. Ego's back.
Okay, don't ever do that again, Eli. Don't do that.
Anyways, you can find me on the Real Review 3000 over here on Bigger Ford Entertainment, Word Wisdom. You can find me on Chaos Central, all those channels, and on Tuesday nights, Wednesdays, depending on it's been Wednesdays lately, but you can find my shorts, which are Unmasking the Masked Singer. Well, I guess Chris being back can't be all good news. Oh, just you wait.
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
Just you wait. Anyways, no, yeah, we're definitely gonna get back to some work, but right now it's the Masked Singer stuff, and that's probably going to stay short until I get some other stuff up because I have to get all my make sure all my graphics are back on OBS and all that stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff still to go forward, but as far as being on the stream right here, right now, that is happening. So that's a plus.
Absolutely,
So,
100%.
with that said, I might have the Fact or Fiction tally still, but I seem to remember, Anzo, it was you and me tied for first place, and Danny was like 30 or 40 behind us, right?
100%. 100%.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Because I'm 100% sure Danny doesn't have the tallies anymore either, right? It's been too long. So, yeah, I remember Danny was way behind us.
And Chris, as a reminder, any game I'm on, if you can't find the tallies, I'm in last place.
Oh, we know
No,
that.
I know that. I don't need you. I don't need help from you.
Yeah, I'm always in last place.
Eli,
and you know,
yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Well, I was just going to say, you do know, Elihu, that's stopped with one P. It's two P's that you're supposed to put on
that. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to say Stope. It's cool. Stope.
He's Stope.
Stope smoking weed. Stope smoking weed.
And let's not forget, right? Because since we talking all of this, I was the first grand champion. I'm just saying, all right? First grand champion, Big of Ford Entertainment. C'est moi. That's all I'm saying. Eli, where can they find you, sir?
Well, I'm surprised you didn't change Chris's subtitle to Mammogram Madness.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have any of my sound effects up right now either, so sorry.
On that note, if you want to hear more of those dumb bad jokes, find me on X, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, some various YouTube channels like SD Game Swap on Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern. We're talking politics. Yeah, you know, Fake News Network, FNN. There it is. It's not Step for Freedom News Network. It's Fake News Network. So check us out. SD Game Swap Sundays, 10 a.m. Eastern.
I got to check that out.
Brian the Grizzly. Where can they? Oh, you went already. What am I saying?
Went.
Yeah, Warren. I almost forgot Warren was here. Gremlin.
Yeah.
Oh, how could? I forgot he was even on the panel.
It's okay. You know, wisdom is hard to absorb when you're hearing it from a smart person, so it's okay. With that being said, you can find
Then that's
me
why you
here.
don't speak, huh? Okay.
Find me here and with God. That's it.
Yeah. Yes, sir. And last but not least is the hype man. You know what? I'm still gonna be good, even though JG took a little nut.
I apologize. I took it back.
Nut punches to me. The baddest hype man in the planet. Go ahead, brother.
JG Shaolin Terrific, the undefeated, undisputed final boss of the 36 Chambers of Shaolin. Why? Thank you y'all for tuning in for this fire roundtable session with the Daredevil Born Again, episode 7. You can catch me live Wednesday nights on the OOC with the host Nzo, aka the Abbott, the Osiris of the Sheet, the Spliff King, the Professor of Gunja, alongside his co-host Roberto, aka Mr. 100, aka No Trouble Did it ain't gonna be Irie. No woman, no cry. Boop, boop, boop. And of course, catch me live prime time tomorrow night. Say that one more time. Prime time. This sounds so good. I got to say it one more time. Prime time. Tuesday nights with my homie Superwise. El Príncipe de Nueva York. Mi hermano de otra madre. With these Daredevil live watch parties. You can hate all you want. With the Daredevil live watch parties, it's some fire stuff. You know, the last episode was, wah. It's okay. It's still fire. And, of course, check out Monk on the GGC. Still working on some things, but it is what it is. And I got a lot of shout outs, bro. I got a lot of shout outs.
Yeah, I got you. I rushed it a bit. My bad.
The amazing, the outstanding, the charismatic, always man of the hour, one of the finest police officers to ever grace these great United States. One more time, these great United States. Simplified himself. Look at the head. See how he's just. That's a fashion statement right there, bro. Hoo-ah. The man with the fashion sense that could turn any pauper into a prince. Oh, yes. Dr. Say's the illest because he suffers from that realness. If you smell what Daddy's cooking. And before I forget, the man who should be casted as Yasuke in a live action flick, the one that should be recasted as Luke Cage, Mike Coulter, F you, the man who's 1/3 of the spoiler kings, the titans of YouTube. Take it all back. That Canadian flag, I take it all back. Brian, the Grizzly.
Let's do it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bigger Ford.
I thought it was not. I thought it was 1/3, not 1/3.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
What a
And this is why Elihu is always last in everything that he tries.
I swear.
Even when he doesn't try.
He is making weed smokers look bad, buddy.
He had one good joke last week. He had one good joke.
Oh, the moose joke? Is because of the moose joke? Because it was about me? Okay.
No, it was a funny joke, but everything else after that has just been like, oh my Lord. But thank you, everybody that popped in. Like I said, make sure to check it out tomorrow, Wednesday, OOC, whatever we do. You guys know where we are. It was a pleasure to have you all here. Thank you very much. Peace, love, and hair grease. And we will see you on the next one. Peace.
Later.